NBA on NBC.
Ring in the NBA Finals last year, only to be defeated by the Bulls. At the peak of his 10-year career, Hakeem Olajuwon has not seen the NBA Finals since his single chance, a loss to the Celtics 8 years ago. Now Olajuwon powers Houston into the playoff semis with all the home court advantage. His dominating defense, his Houston's personality, his explosive offensive style launched the Rockets over Portland. For Phoenix to return to the finals, Sir Charles will have to play with the same frantic passion that crushed Golden State. 56 in Game 3. His spirits blazing, his aim direct, his sights are set on moving one step closer to that elusive championship.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1994 NBA playoffs. Today, it's the Phoenix Suns versus the Houston Rockets.
And welcome to the summit in Houston, Texas. Lights are out, spotlights on as the Rockets are introduced. And a look at the Western semifinalists with Denver's incredible upset of the Seattle Sonics. They'll meet Utah in the next round. That begins on Tuesday night. And it's Phoenix, a finalist last year against the Bulls, against the Houston Rockets, who now own home court advantage the rest of the playoffs. Hello, everyone. Dick Enberg with Steve Jones, and it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Now, they're all going after number 1. 2 for Olajuwon, and for Barkley, they're going to be double-teamed, and 3 for three-point shots. We're going to see a rainfall of those.
It is going to be a series in which they will probably max out in terms of three-point attempts. These are two teams that during the regular season both shot well over 1,000 three-point attempts. The Houston Rockets, they led the NBA and set a record for makes and attempts, and the Phoenix Suns were right behind them at number 3.
All right, here are the starting lineups. The Phoenix Suns and the Houston Rockets, they were 2-2 head-to-head, each winning their games on a home court. Dan Marley led the league in three-pointers made, and Kevin Johnson, one of the leaders in assists, again for Phoenix. Oliver Miller for Mark West. West has a bad foot. Charles Barkley, the most valuable player of a year ago. Brilliant against the Golden State Warriors. And Cedric Sabalas, watch out. He always seems to find a way to be open underneath. Paul Westphal, who led the Suns to their best record ever a year ago and won 56 games again this season. For the Houston Rockets, they'll line up this way. Outside firepower from Mad Max, Vernon Maxwell, and Kenny Smith. On the front line, Hakeem Olajuwon. Many will say that if he doesn't win the most valuable player, they ought to have an investigation. Robert Horry and Otis Thorpe, two powerful 6'10" men on the inside, but watch out for Horry. He can shoot that three-pointer as well for one of the immortals here in Rockets franchise. Rudy Tomjanovich is number 45, one of 2 retired by the organization. We're ready to go. Game 1, best of 7. This semifinal in the West.
Dick, there are a couple of keys in this ball game that will make a difference. We already talked about the three-point shooting, but tempo of the game. The Phoenix Suns, they have led the NBA in scoring. They're a team that likes to get up and down the floor. The Rockets like more of a control game, running on opportunities, and that's what we should look for. The team that has the advantage will be the one that slips in and gets game 1.
The Suns will get the first opportunity. Sabalas off the tip to Kevin Johnson. Kenny Smith on him. Barkley over Thorpe. And Charles Barkley opens the way he finished against Golden State when he scored the 3rd highest total ever in playoff history, 56 points.
The bad thing about that is the shot that you want Charles Barkley taking, the fadeaway jump shot. You don't want Olajuwon taking that shot.
Hakeem with a slam. He has been a dream again this year for the Rockets. Into Barkley. They double team him. The fall away isn't close, but Oliver Miller on the double team is open for the easy rebound. Marley in the corner. He has not shot well against Houston this year, especially here. Loses the ball, and it's off Marley. No, they say that it was initiated on the defense of the Rockets. Barkley. Marley with a good fake. Takes the 2. Rebound Horry. Robert Horry, who was in Trey did midseason. Elijah against Young Miller. Horry off the assist from Elijah 4-2 Houston.
In the Rockets games against excuse me, they were out quickly at both ends of the floor. They established themselves with their defensive energy, and they try to get some quick transition points, and they've gotten 2 easy buckets here.
Quick fire by Barkley ties it at 4. Most valuable player of the year ago, Barkley, against the man that might well win it this year, Elijah Thorpe against the shorter Savalas. Inside, with Horry into Thorpe, and Thorpe is able to score easily, and Houston early is getting the easy 2s.
They are point-blank range right now, and Paul Westphal has to be concerned about the ease in which the Rockets are getting their scores inside the Miller.
Oliver Miller snaps it home. It's tied at 6 on his first bucket. Barkley eases off Thorpe. Maxwell touches it for the first time in the offensive end, and that's the first miss for Houston. KJ, no numbers for the Suns. He pulls up and fires. And Marley with a push-off has the foul. His first.
Yesterday, your hands were pretty sweaty. This might get you heated up as well. It was a hot day outside, but it looks like it's going to be a hot offensive day inside. And right now, Elijah hasn't seen a double team from the Phoenix Suns.
Elijah second basket, and Houston has the lead 8-6.
Now, they said that they would have selective double teaming. Horry didn't get all the way over, but they turned it over.
Horry stealing it from the driving Savalas and Kenny Smith. And will go out of bounds to Phoenix. Well, the pace thus far favors Phoenix, who likes the run-and-gun game.
They are definitely more of an open court, up and down team. They like to believe that they've got as good a firepower as anybody in the NBA, and their 2 stars, Barkley and Johnson, coming off huge games.
Barkley, they're respecting Elijah, who was on his back, didn't want to go up on the left side, knowing that Elijah could pick it off from behind, try to get underneath. Out of bounds to Phoenix.
Getting inside has to be a big concern for the Suns because of the shot blocking and the intimidating factor of Elijah.
3-pointer for Marley, who hit nearly 200 of them in the regular season, an NBA record.
One of the things that the Rockets have really improved on is their spacing. They are able to get spacing and open the court and make things happen, put back by Otis Thorpe.
Off the 3-point miss of Kenny Smith, Thorpe with 4. So it seesaws early, 10-9 Rockets. KJ nails the line drive, 11-10 Suns. 4 minutes gone, and it's been all offense.
When the offense is as good as it has been here early, it makes it difficult for the defense to have an effect.
Missed by Thorpe, rebound Miller. On the break, Savalas, a good setup from Kevin Johnson. 13-10 Phoenix, and a quiet Houston crowd on this Mother's Day Sunday.
Now, they're late arriving, probably about halftime. The place ought to be full, but they have been slow in coming in here so far this afternoon.
Elijah around the double team, rebound Barkley. They wanted a backcourt violation, but Barkley never established himself in the offensive end. 4 assists for KJ already. Nice pass by Kevin Johnson, and then another from Barkley, and the foul. Came Elijah with his first foul, and Rudy Tomjanovich, reading his lips, said, hey, call it down here, give us some fouls.
The Houston Rockets facing a team that likes to run, they'll have to have transition defense if they're to get the first win for Rudy Tomjanovich this afternoon.
Suns up by 3.
From Canada, the land where ice was born. by the NASDAQ stock market, the stock market for the next 100 years. And by Jeep and Eagle, official vehicles of the NBA.
Rudy Tomjanovich, 11 years a player with the Houston Rockets. As a coach, we asked him about the pace of the game. He said he doesn't mind up-tempo, but with some restrictions.
Well, we have to be a running team also. And that's where, if we play good defense and shake the ball loose, we'll get runs. But I don't want to get into a pace where we're just going up and down. And that sort of gets you out of that mentality that you got to dig in the trenches and play that half-court basketball. Now, we'd like to run a whole bunch, but let's do it off of their half-court offense. We make a stop, grab the rebound, and go from there.
They want to play off the defense. So far, there hasn't been much half-court offense or defense. As Oliver Miller misses his first free throw, Phoenix leading 13-10. It was Miller in the playoffs a year ago who really established himself as a budding star with this Phoenix team.
A huge story a year ago and a little bit of a disappointment this year. He hasn't come back and really built on that. So they're expecting Oliver Miller to perhaps step up in this series against Olajuwon and be a factor.
Robert Horry misconnects on the three-point attempt, his first. Barkley will gun. Maxwell with the rebound. He's playing with a sore right hand, said it bothers him shooting. Some would argue nothing bothers Vernon Maxwell from shooting.
Max is one of those streaky players, and when he gets on a roll, regardless of what is ailing him physically, he's as dangerous as any player in the NBA. He proved that against Portland in that series, and last year he played with a broken wrist, so a bruised hand is not going to hurt him.
Barkley, rebound by Maxwell. 6 minutes gone, midpoint first quarter. Phoenix with the lead, 13-10. Smith to tie. Kenny Smith with the tray. His first points. Against Portland, the Houston team shot 1 out of every 5 from outside the line. Barkley pulled up short on that one, and it's Horry. Let's get going. 3 rebounds for Horry. Barkley retrieves. Here come the Suns. Marley. Oh, they're not wasting any time shooting. Barkley gets a chance, and it goes off his knee out of bounds.
Right, you can understand that Phoenix is still in that Golden State mentality. They're sprinting up and down, which actually is in their favor. If they can get Houston to shoot the ball as quickly, then they have the tempo, and they figure they have the firepower to win that kind of game. Barkley couldn't control that one, and so far, Houston is obliged. They've had some cheap and easy shots, like the last one Olajuwon had, but he couldn't catch.
That's an excellent point. The effect of the round 1 on how this game is played on both teams, and the Suns coming off that just run and shoot. No time at all to set up. Robert Horry against Golden State. Horry with 4. Houston back in front. Foul before the shot. Kenny Smith trying to stop the charge or drive of Kevin Johnson.
Against Kevin Johnson, you have to try to make a decision which way you want him to go. Last time down, Kenny Smith played him straight up and got beat with the crossover, and the penetration is what they want to shut down. 2-man game. Barkley, Kevin Johnson.
Turnover as A.C. Green has entered the game for the first time for Phoenix. Joe Klein as well for the Suns.
This is Olajuwon's side of the floor. And let's see if they bring it back to the left.
Maxwell hits the 3. And Houston builds its lead to 5. This is an 8-0 run now that the Suns are trying to snap. Houston. It's Horry knocking it out of bounds. Now the crowd getting into it.
They started the ball game going to Charles Barkley in isolation and gone away from that. Now they come back to Barkley.
Double team, so Johnson lays it off to Klein. Rebound, Otis Thorpe. Thorpe and Olajuwon, a powerful rebounding pair for Houston. One of the best in the league. Olajuwon over Klein. Marley with a loose ball. Phoenix Suns, the top scoring team in the NBA this year. Barkley, one of the reasons, is short again. Looking for Thorpe against Barkley. And he's got the muscle to present some problems on Barkley. 10 straight points for the Rockets.
Defensively, the Rockets trying to establish themselves right now and keep the Phoenix Suns a perimeter team.
20-13. 3 minutes to go. Olajuwon, that'll be his second foul as Kevin Johnson with a defensive position gets the charge from Olajuwon. And with that, a timeout. Just under 3 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Houston on a run.
Hey guys, farm report. Surfing championships. Let's watch both.
Miller Lite presents Cowabunga. Surf's up.
Come on, go.
And so is Bessie. She's not just swatting flies now, Bob. Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste and less filling, you can combine anything. She's riding this one all the way back to Wisconsin.
What a cow! What a beer.
Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
Mom, happy Mother's Day. Hopefully we'll give you a present today.
Well, you can make a lot of mistakes, men, but one you don't want to. You don't want to fail on this day. Happy Mother's Day. A lot of the moms here, and Hannah Storm's mother is here, and kind of nice to have an assignment where you can be with your mom, who's a resident here of Houston, Texas. Barkley trying to snap this run of the Rockets, fails again.
Olajuwon picked up the second foul, so they brought Herrera in the game. Otis Thorpe goes inside.
Barkley able to knock it away from Thorpe, who seemed to be sure of the rebound. That first signal was Phoenix ball, but that's corrected. So from 13-10, Phoenix in front. The Rockets have launched an attack of 10 in a row.
Let's see how the Rockets now play without Olajuwon out on the floor and how it affects them offensively. Certainly they don't have that hub in the middle, and it's got to be Otis Thorpe to try to generate some offense.
Thorpe, power move, Barkley with a rebound. Marley, good move on Maxwell. Oh, it's a tough runner. Barkley tips it out right to Kenny Smith. 3-on-1. Thorpe, 12 in a row for the Rockets. 8 of those by Thorpe to lead all scorers.
They're following Rudy's instructions. We want to dig it out in the half-court or out for the miss and run. And Otis Thorpe, who has the biggest mitts in the league, just finger rolls that one in.
A.C. Green with a good fake and gets the roll. That snaps the run of 12 straight by Houston.
The success for the Houston Rockets in the playoffs so far has to beat out and ahead early at the end of one, and that's what they're trying to do here in this afternoon's ball game. Shot clock, which hasn't been a factor, now a factor for Houston.
And it's to Houston off Kevin Johnson, 3 seconds on the clock. Good defense there by the backcourt of Phoenix, Marley and Kevin Johnson. Off Herrera, now they'll have to hurry, and Thorpe throws up a prayer. That was pretty close, and Maxwell, no, not a foul on Maxwell, it's the 24-second violation. Boy, we heard that buzzer enough up in Seattle yesterday, and yet remarkably, that young Denver team, how they matured in just a week, the Nuggets, and there were reverberations down here in Houston and Phoenix as they cheered for that Denver win for obvious reasons. Marley misses another 3, and the Phoenix Suns are cold here in the opening quarter.
play that they run with Otis Thorpe is the pick and roll. They're trying to set that right now.
Smith for 2. He has 5 points. The lead is 9. Barkley left all alone. And after a run of misses, Charles Barkley has his 6th point.
That time no one was there. Barkley had plenty of time to set himself, square up, and knocked it down.
Hakeem Olajuwon on the bench with 2 fouls here in the first quarter.
Herrera wanted that ball. He's a little upset that they went around the other way. Let's see if he gets a look at it.
Robert Horry, the second-year man from Alabama. 6'10", shooter from beyond the arc. A lot of Noahs in this game. They're all beyond the arc. Marley, one of those from way outside, trying to beat the buzzer, and that's the end of the first quarter. And the crowd here at the Summit in Houston likes what they see. The Rockets off the pad with a 10-point lead, 27-17, and Otis Thorpe with his power moves a big reason.
Starting center Mark West, who it does not appear will play today. He hasn't missed a game in 6 seasons, but he has a strained plantar fascia, a strained arch, for lack of a better term, in his right foot. He has no explosion off that foot, injured in Game 3 against Seattle, and Paul Westphal told me he will only play West if he gets absolutely desperate in today's game. Dick?
All right, Hannah. Open the second quarter. Rockets scoring 17 out of the last 21 points in the first quarter to take a 10-point lead. Danny Ainge makes his first appearance, picks up a foul.
Olajuwon has re-entered the game, so the Rockets have their starting 5 back out on the floor.
Could be a dangerous time for Phoenix should Houston, now with Olajuwon, continue their offensive explosion.
Looking for a pick and roll because they've got now Thorpe with Danny Ainge on his back.
And Thorpe takes immediate advantage of that matchup. He has 10 points. He's one of the unsung in the NBA, Otis Thorpe.
When you take a body, you model it after Otis Thorpe.
Kenny Smith with a steal. 14-point lead for the Rockets. Some felt Phoenix with a rest after sweeping Golden State, and the Rockets, of course, played Friday night and got here yesterday. Might be a little tired. That hasn't been true so far. Another turnover. Horry intercepts Smith. Oh, my. Houston is hot as the red on the uniforms. 6 straight to open the second quarter.
Now, the Rockets will let you back in a ball game, but you've got to take care of the basketball, and right now, the Phoenix Suns and Paul Westphal's team are turning the ball over. It was almost every possession, and Olajuwon is not a factor so far here in the first 2 quarters of play.
Doesn't have to be. Kevin Johnson answers at the other end. First points for the Suns in the second quarter took nearly 2 minutes.
AC Green trying to come out and double team and try to quicken the pace for the Phoenix Suns in a half-court set. Otis Thorpe, who has been strong down low, going against Barkley.
A very short Phoenix team on the floor. Oliver Miller is the tallest of the lot. He's only 6'9". Out of bounds. And another turnover. 6 by the Suns, only 2 committed by Houston. Timeout. They're on their feet in Houston. Applauding. A Rockets lead of 14 points.
The Bulls battle the Knicks. The NBA playoffs continue next on NBC.
Our most important package is yours. And by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me.
Welcome back to Game 2 of our NBC Sunday triple header. Congratulations to Lenny Wilkins' Atlanta Hawks, 102-91. They beat Miami to advance in Game 5 today. Stay tuned. The defending world champion Chicago Bulls in Game 3. Scottie Pippen against New York Knicks and Patrick Ewing, a couple of Olympians, and that perennial matchup in the playoffs, the Knicks and the Bulls. Olajuwon saves.
Shot clock at 5.
Smith from outside the line. Rebound, Herrera.
And bringing the ball back over to Olajuwon against Oliver Miller. See how the Suns react.
And a foul. Oliver Miller.
Olajuwon down low, and he's got guys on his back all the time. This time he's able to come up with the save. The clock was running down. They were fortunate to get it back. Now they'll have a new 24 foul against Oliver Miller.
Out on the floor, so no shot by Olajuwon. Horry out to Danny Ainge. Paul Westphal electing to go very small here in this sequence. Kevin Johnson, and a lot of the Sun shots are short. Horry, that one wasn't. And Miller scores at the other end as he out-hustles the Rockets, and Maxwell commits the foul.
The Suns came in as a team that was going to do the running, but it's been the Houston Rockets here early, and nobody likes to dunk more than Robert Horry. 2 hands over the top.
Well, what an Alabama team that was, huh? Latrell Sprewell, Hollywood Robinson, all #1 picks, and Robert Horry.
Tremendously talented team that didn't win a national championship, but all of these players certainly are going to have impactful NBA careers.
Oliver Miller 0 for 3 from the line. You saw Barkley give him a rest.
Scotty Brooks in the ball game for the first time.
Olajuwon, he has 6. Scotty Brooks is the backup point guard now for Houston with the suspension of 1 game to the rookie Sam Cassell.
This should give Kevin Johnson at least a little bit more chance to score. A big block by Horry.
Brooks, the smallest man on the court.
The story throughout the playoffs, Dick, has been the team that's been the most aggressive and taking care of the ball has been the victor. And right now, the aggressive team is the home team in white. Too aggressive, Horry on the foul.
No basket for Kevin Johnson, who continued and just threw up one and backed in. And Tom Jonovich thought that was a little thin.
Kevin Johnson on the penetration, but the reacting defense of the Houston Rockets, he swatted it to the glass, and the Rockets were off in transition. Bullard in the ball game. Horry will sit down.
And Mario Elie goes in as well for the Rockets. The lead 37-21. Danny Ainge, who holds the playoff record, NBA record for three-pointers made.
Unit that's out on the floor now for the Houston Rockets becomes a lot more predictable in the ways that they try to score. Herrera trying to power over Dan Marley.
Carl Herrera from Caracas, Venezuela, played his college ball here in the city with the Cougars of Houston. His first points.
Again, the Suns have to remember what happened in that Portland series when they had Portland down in Game 4. They had them down by 21 at one point in the ball game. Portland came back to make it a 6-point ball game. Only ended up losing the game by 3. So even though Tom Jonovich is calm now, he knows that there's a sun rising somewhere, and it's going to be a hot one
in the 48 minutes. Illegal defense was the call, the warning against Houston. KJ unable to connect again. Olajuwon sets up Scott Brooks.
These players need Olajuwon out on the floor. Bullard, Brooks, Elie, so that they can spot up for the 3. They'll look for the double team. Bullard is great at shooting 3-point shots.
Misses that one. He's 0 for 2 in the playoffs, although he entered these playoffs shooting over 50%, an NBA record for 3s. Johnson. Danny Ainge with the taller Bullard on him. tries the three. Three-point basket. Ames makes it 39-24.
He really wasn't going to drive because he knew Olajuwon was waiting back there for him. Nice shot for Danny Ames and the Suns.
That was his 178th three-pointer in the playoffs, the NBA high mark. Ellie with the answer, way short. AC Green and Miller battle each other, and it's Miller to Johnson. Kevin Johnson with a brilliant drive, and Brooks fouled him. So 5 points unanswered for Phoenix. And with 6:11 remaining in the opening half, the Houston lead cut to 13.
I want to go out there and test it, you know. The money don't mean anything to me. You know, I can go out there and play for free.
The thing is to get them 2 rings. That's what it is. That's what it is. If he had them 2 rings,
So they can't do nothing to him now.
Right. Boy, he had the rings. He was like...
Oh, those rings don't mean anything, really.
Oh, those rings don't mean nothing?
They're just party history.
Can I have one?
No.
With its legendary reputation for quality and rugged
The Suns with a little charge to cut that advantage to 13. Charles Barkley, his philosophy, don't let the superstar beat you.
I think you have to double them and make them beat you with threes. If they beat you with threes, you go to the golf course. But I think Hakeem is such a great player. I don't think you should ever let the other team's best player beat you because that's a known commodity. But you never know what those other players are going to do night in and night out, so I think you have to make them beat you. And if they beat us shooting threes, we just head to the golf course.
He's got all his irons polished, but doesn't want to use them for a month. So 7 straight points scored by Phoenix to pull within a dozen.
They took Bullard out of the ball game, brought Maxwell back in. 7 on the shot clock. Olajuwon falls down.
Trying to back in on Barkley. Turnover to Phoenix. Kevin Johnson pulls up and hits it cleanly. 8 straight for the Suns. Oh, you were prophetic, Mr. Snapper Jones.
Little bit of pressure, particularly with this group out on the floor. Ellie makes a turnover, forced out of bounds. So the momentum has changed dramatically, and Rudy is really barking at the officials about all 6 eyes. Open them up.
That Croatian blood is boiling in Tomjanovic. And a technical has been executed by Joey Crawford. Danny Ainge will shoot it. And the Suns have 9 in a row. 39-30 the score. One thing that seems certain in this game, one NBA playoff record will be broken, and that is total number of threes shot by these 2 teams.
That is part of their game plan, and whenever they get a double team, they got people parked outside that line, and Phoenix beginning to take a little bit better care of the basketball.
Boy, Johnson really wanted to shoot it. He's dominated the game with his shots. Ellie racing into the offensive end. 5 minutes to go. Houston once up by 18 in this quarter, now leading 39-30.
A rare matchup between Olajuwon and Barkley. Olajuwon getting single coverage.
And hits the 12-footer. He has 8.
Barkley in past games has had some success going against the bigger centers. He surprised them, but Olajuwon is a bull, and it's going to be tough for Barkley to ride him out down on the low box.
AC Green is short. Maxwell flies in and then falls away and misses. Green. That was not well advised, that shot.
Well, that's a typical Mad Max shot. You never know when those are going to go, but if he doesn't air it out, he doesn't have a feel for it himself. But he was on a dead sprint in that opportunity. Olajuwon against Barkley. Barkley trying to get down in, use his position, gives him a little knee, but this is the most difficult shot to defend in the NBA. Olajuwon may be beginning to get lathered up and get into this ball game.
Is he the most valuable player this year if you vote?
He got my vote at the start of the season, and it hasn't changed. I think that he has been certainly the most dominant player. The race between Robinson and Olajuwon, very close one. I gave the vote to Olajuwon based on the fact his team won the Central Division, and he was certainly the big difference in the factor in all of his individual matchups against the great centers in the NBA this season.
With Barkley and Olajuwon getting double teams, the threes will be shot. The record for number of threes in a single game in the NBA playoffs is 34. Houston and the Lakers 3 years ago. They've already shot in this game 17, the two teams combined. And Ames connects 41-33.
7-point quarter for Danny Ames, so he's taking advantage of the fact he's playing against a team that is sagging off of him. They get a foul against Charles Barkley.
And a technical. He slammed the ball down. And technical called on Barkley.
Barkley is one of those players that will do things for effect. Here he's trying to get around in front of Olajuwon. Can't do it. Pushes off to get to the ball. He's not happy with the call, and purposely getting the technical foul stop. Brooks can't pass.
Brooks an 87% shooter. So now Barkley will, not that he'll tread on eggs the rest of the way. He knows how to survive a technical and stay in the game. One of the leaders in the league this year.
Horry Thorpe back in along with Maxwell and Smith, so they come back with the starting lineup as that lead shrinks.
Olajuwon over Barkley. Was so tough to defend that jump hook. He has 10. 10-point lead, Houston.
And again, if Olajuwon sees single coverage, that's where he's going to become the dominant force in a half-court game. The one thing that maybe Paul Westphal does not want to happen.
MVP, the chant, as Olajuwon made that last bucket. Ames fires from beyond the arc. Rebound, Olajuwon. Now he blocks out on Green. And it's Kenny Smith who brings it in. Right into Olajuwon. No, that's Thorpe, and Thorpe out of control, traveling.
Nobody does this one thing better than Charles Barkley at that power position. He gets away, but this time he stays in close. Olajuwon just jump hooks over him. But Olajuwon has stumbled trying to find a body. Otis Thorpe has been out of control a couple of times. Barkley will lay on you and then get away, and the guy is off balance, and it's a turnover.
Kevin Johnson. Rebound Olajuwon. He has 5 in this first half. Otis Thorpe. Does it count? No. Charging Thorpe. Marley had established position. His first foul. Tomjanovich seemed to agree. 2:39 remaining in first half. Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, two of the big names in the NBA, trying to battle on toward that elusive ring. That Denver Nugget win yesterday. A.C. Green told us before the game, he said, man, he said, we were happy because it may help us down the line, but boy, did we feel it, because we almost got knocked out by the Lakers last year. Said how sick the Sonics must feel today. 10-point game as Ames fires a 3 off mark and Maxwell rebounds.
The Rockets have done a real good job of getting everybody back on their defensive glass. So when they have missed, it's been one attempt. Now they're trying to come back, set up, go to Olajuwon.
Good ball movement. KJ denies a 3, and Barkley over the shoulder, back to the way from Olajuwon. Kevin Johnson. A.C. Green misses the follow, and Maxwell has another rebound. That was a golden opportunity for the Sonics. But with that big guy Olajuwon, who scores moves at the other end around the basket, you shoot a little quicker than you might against other teams, and you might miss some of the easy attempts.
On any penetration, the guy that's headed toward the basket is always trying to find Olajuwon, and that sometimes is a distraction. You lose your concentration, and they play outside in.
That ball partially deflected. Barkley argues that Ori got a piece of it. It looked as if he did, but that isn't the call.
Ori gives us a little wink and say, yeah, but, you know, that's that little tiny edge I told you that sometimes goes with the home court advantage. Just a fingernail is enough.
Changes the direction, hits the side of the board. Barkley says, I'm not that bad. Olajuwon out, and Carl Herrera comes in, so Rudy Tomjanovich with a minute plus left wants to give Olajuwon a chance to rest and not pick up that third foul. Maxwell from three. Ames with a rebound. Kevin Johnson, the green. A.C. Green makes it a 10-point lead.
If you gamble in the backcourt, and that's what Maxwell did, it'll turn Kevin Johnson and his Suns loose. A.C. Green over the top.
Ori. To Thorpe, blocked by Barkley, jump ball. Barkley answering some of the taunts of the crowd.
Charles Barkley is not given enough credit for being a very smart defensive player, and in a help position comes over, gets both hands on top of the ball. Got a whistle, too.
He is something. Gets the tip, too. Yeah, I think just like Jordan, if Barkley retires, ought to go to another sport, tennis. Wouldn't tennis enjoy a Charles Barkley?
They need a little life.
30 seconds remaining in the half to Barkley. 45-37. So an 18-point advantage for Houston, shrinking down to 8 in the final seconds of the half.
About a 2-second difference between shot clock and game. Kenny Smith trying to split.
Herrera fortunate to pick up the ball, and Ori misses the layup. 2 seconds, 1, and out of bounds at the end of the half. So the Houston Rockets enjoying a tremendous run in the middle of this first half, but the Suns rally to make it close. Barkley and Olajuwon in their own individual statistical battle. It's Houston by 8 at the intermission. The Prudential halftime report coming up.
Introducing one of the most visually distinct automobiles you've ever seen, and the most technologically advanced.
18 saw the Suns take a 9-0 run in the second quarter to close the gap, 8 points at the intermission. And the one thing, Steve Jones, and watching that first 24 minutes, you know, Hakeem Olajuwon has so much weaponry, and without Mark West, there's so few big men to defend Olajuwon.
It's very difficult for the Phoenix Suns to stay with Charles Barkley as the defensive stopper against Olajuwon. Olajuwon has the ability not only to hold his spot, but he can go baseline, which is an unstoppable shot to get to. Jump hook across the middle, drop step. There are many moves that he has that he hasn't shown us yet, waiting for the appropriate time. So they've got to get Joe Klein in. He's got to have some impact along with Oliver Miller.
Well, let's get the coach's thoughts. Here's Hannah Storm.
Thanks, Dick. Coach, your team is shooting 38%. Are you happy with the shot selection, or do you feel your guys are taking good shots and they're just not falling?
Well, we took some bad shots early, but I think for the most part we're getting some good shots and they're not falling. We have to improve our shooting efficiency, and we have to get some offensive rebounds if we're going to miss this much.
Only have 2 offensive rebounds right now. KJ, 4 for 12. Now, a week ago against Golden State, he wasn't shooting well. He said at halftime you told him to quit shooting. What'd you tell him today?
I just left him alone. He knows what to do. He'll come out and hopefully have a good second half, and if we can score a few times, I think our defense is good enough to keep us in the game.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Dick?
All right, Hannah, the Suns shot only 38%, had 37 points. They averaged 122 against Golden State. You look at the Miller Genuine Draft halftime numbers, and 3-point shooting and 21 attempts are on a record pace. It's not a torrential rain, but it is. The trays are falling. And rebounds, nothing significant other than the fact that Vernon Maxwell, a 6'4" guard, has equaled Charles Barkley for game high with 6 rebounds. The score, Houston 45, Phoenix 37. The second half about to start.
This is the showroom where we sell the most Ford.
Kevin Johnson with 9, Barkley with 8, and Ainge with a couple of trays chipped in with 7. Olajuwon led the Rockets with a dozen, Thorpe with 10 early, and Orion Smith added 9.
If you're Paul Westphal, you have to feel good about where you are, considering you shot so poorly in the first half of play, 38%, and you're still within 8. And so that means that you have a chance to really get into the game. I'm sure that's what Westphal talked about, being aggressive and playing their game and making sure that they do a good job defensively. Make the Houston Rockets become primarily a perimeter team trying to keep the ball away from Olajuwon.
And Rudy Tomjanovich of the Rockets has to be pleased as well. There were flashes of really outstanding play by Houston in that first half.
Shot clock at 5.
Olajuwon on obvious force, and Otis Thorpe doesn't beat the clock. Second violation, Phoenix ball. And on the 24 violation, Houston will see the Phoenix Suns go the other way.
Tomjanovich doesn't want his team to let the shot clock expire, and he's telling them you got to get into it a little bit quicker. No one was aware of how much time was on the shot clock when Olajuwon came out of the post.
Suns go with Johnson, Marley, Oliver Miller, Charles Barkley, and Cedric Sabalas. Same team that started. Marley, who hit 1 in the first half, hits his first attempt in the second. 6 points for Marley and a pair of trays. And suddenly this becomes a 5-point game. How quickly that 18-point lead has been whittled. Maxwell almost went in as he was trying to make a pass. The ball was deflected.
Barkley wants to give Kevin Johnson a screen and get down to the baseline.
Barkley with a power move. He scores and a foul. 45-42. 5 unanswered by Phoenix off the opening of the second half. Hakeem with his 3rd foul.
Olajuwon has an unusual look, but he comes in. Barkley coming hard, and the bodies collided, and he can't believe just because there was that kind of contact, the whistle goes against him. Tomjanovich trying to make sure he keeps Olajuwon out on the floor. May have an early decision to make here in the 3rd quarter of play.
Barkley, who had a huge series against Golden State, now has 11 points today, and it's a 45-43 game.
Double on the ball, so they're going to try to force Houston to get out of their set and move the ball quicker.
Horry caught in midair, finally gets it to Thorpe. Thorpe around Barkley. Barkley didn't think he had enough room on that baseline. 12 points for Otis Thorpe.
So that was a good idea to trap the ball. They forced him to move away from Olajuwon, and they were fortunate to get the hoop from Thorpe. He was double teamed down there on the baseline.
On the clock for Barkley. He has to force the 3, and he hits it. Oh, my, Charles Barkley. That's a Sir shot. That's why you have to give him the royalty. And he gets the rebound at the other end, and here come the Suns with a chance for the lead, down by only a point. Miller with a pass to Sabalas, and the foul on Phoenix. Loose ball on Kevin Johnson, his second.
Otis Thorpe muscling his way around, got away with a little bit of a hook, put that hand out and just wiped Charles Barkley off, and then Barkley fading against the clock. That's when you know the basket has suddenly opened up for you. We'll see if Barkley gets the torch like he had in that Golden State game.
2-pointer for Kenny Smith. Oliver Miller pulls it down. Give that last foul to Dan Marley, his second, not to Johnson.
Barkley and and Kevin Johnson trying to set up a two-man game. They get a turnover. Kevin Johnson said, he grabbed.
Kenny Smith with the defense, forcing the turnover.
When in doubt, go inside, and that's what the Houston Rockets are going to try to do, try to get the ball to Olajuwon, but they're on the wrong side of the floor.
Olajuwon on the short shot converts for his 14th point.
What do you mean short shot? Folks said that was a pass. You didn't get many assists.
Nice pass by Barkley, but the Suns can't make the shot. Sabalas and Miller hovering around the rim, out of bounds to Phoenix.
Otis Thorpe was down low and left that ball short, and it was Olajuwon to pick it up. Barkley back the other way.
Sabalas gets the easy lay-in off the out of bounds. 49-48. It back. It's intercepted by Marley. 2-on-2. Sabalas over Olajuwon. That's a tough 4-footer. And the Phoenix Suns lead for the first time since 2-0. 50-49 to the visitors with 8 minutes left in the third.
The Bulls battle the Knicks. The NBA playoffs continue next on NBC.
Get into the cold. By Tinactin. If you want a medicine that acts tough, get Tough Actin Tinactin. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
We can reveal the identity of Turbo Man. He's from Portland, Oregon. Steve Snapper Jones. That's how he got his nickname. Did you see that follow-through? Hey, what's your take on Game 3, the Bulls and the Knicks?
A defensive battle for sure. Limited offense in that ball game. And the New York Knicks feel that they have the ultimate weapon in Patrick Ewing. They'll try to take Scottie Pippen out of the ball game.
Robert Horry short. As you heard his own call, Oliver Miller hands off to Kevin Johnson. 8 rebounds for Miller. Mark West, who has never missed a game. He had the second longest string in the NBA to AC Green with a bad foot, not playing today. Sabalas fighting, and it's out of bounds to Houston.
Oliver Miller is going to have to be a better finisher in that situation. They surrounded the rim. Sabalas forced his shot, and Miller couldn't finish on the other side.
The Suns have shot only 38% in the first half, 68 here in the second. Miller with a rebound. Numbers aren't there, 3-on-4.
The difference in the two teams also comes down to the bench, as Barkley had an easy 3 and missed that one. Easy in the sense that there was no pressure on him like the last one he made against the shot clock and fading away.
Horry misses an even easier shot, but gets it back. Misses another. Miller loses it out of bounds, but at last touched Horry. Well, that was a rather disappointing trip down court for Houston and their fans.
Horry is just a little bit out of control on his drives, and he's reaching, and it's throwing him off on the shot. And he will see if he calms down, but right now they're getting right at point-blank range with Sabalas.
Oh, that was a impeccable assist from Kevin Johnson, setting up Sabalas. The biggest lead of the game for Phoenix, 3 points on a 15-4 second half run. Kenny Smith inside to the big guy. And over the back, foul on whom?
Loose ball foul. The Suns number 23,
Sabalas is first.
Foul, team shooting.
They do a good job of opening up the floor. Olajuwon is out high, so he can't get back for the block. Horry doesn't get in front, and that is the office where Sabalas does all of his operating from right in the paint.
Olajuwon such quick moves. The jump hook, the fall away jumper, but it's all based on that great first step. 16 to lead all scorers for Hakeem.
Same play. They're pulling Olajuwon out, and they're trying to open up the middle. Oliver Miller was open. They missed him on the baseline.
He gets the rebound from Barkley's miss.
There was another shot he should have finished and didn't, and he's got to cash those.
Thorpe over Barkley. Won't fall. Miller with his 11th rebound. Phoenix by 1, 52-51. Has scored the last 6 points. A block by Olajuwon. Miller fouls him. His second.
Olajuwon has been given a one-on-one situation against Oliver Miller, and when he's in that spot that deep, bad things are going to happen. And Sabalas has been trying to open things up, and he said, you know, I'm just about tired of that, and takes that one away. So Oliver Miller trying to keep them from getting a break, picks up the foul, Joe Klein in.
That was the daily double block. He not only blocked it, but retrieved it as well. 5 to go in the third. A one-point game. Smith for 3, and Houston is back in front. Now they only gave him 2. No, now they give him the 3. 54-52. Thorpe. Horry. Maxwell waits for help. It's Smith. The big man. Olajuwon. A 4-point lead for the Rockets. And the crowd taking a little 15-minute break suddenly recharged. Olajuwon leading the way, and Smith reclaims the lead for Houston. 20-second timeout.
Maxwell is down and holding his foot or his ankle, and we're not sure exactly when the injury occurred.
Try to walk it off. Max already was talking to us before the game about how sore his shooting hand is, and that he's going to have to try to do other things to help his team today, and he really has been quiet in the field goal department. Let's look on the middle of your screen. There is, as he comes down, he may have landed on the foot of Sabalas.
He turned it on Sabalas' foot. Maxwell's a tough guy. He's got a high pain threshold. He's out on the floor right now. And if you're Dan Marley, you should be calling for the ball. Get me the ball right now and see how much pain he can take when I put the zoom on it.
Sabalas alone underneath. How often he's able to slip through all those screens and get an easy shot. 10 points for Cedric, who again was among the leaders in field goal percentage in the league this year, and that's one of the reasons he gets them close in.
8 in the quarter. He only had 2 points in the first half, so he's gotten busy here. Otis Thorpe trying to drop it down.
Foul on Joe Klein. Hannah Storm has a report.
Dick, Vernon Maxwell has apparently twisted his right ankle. If you recall, he did miss the last 2 games of the regular season with a sprained right ankle, so he's aggravated that. And as you can see, he wanted to stay in the game, but he has now taken a seat on the bench and talking with trainer Ray Melchiori.
All right, thank you, Hannah. And to replace Maxwell is Mario Ellie. Way off the mark, Otis Thorpe on the free throw. It's only the second free throw for Houston in the game. The other was a technical. Maxwell obviously not happy at all, in pain, foot and hand. So Thorpe misses both. Klein tips to Barkley, and the Suns with a chance to tie with 2.
The free throw line has always been an adventure for Otis Thorpe, and he showed you just how much that time down. And they're going to need him to be able to make some free throws and some points here in the second half down low.
Thorpe now on Barkley. Joe Klein over Olajuwon. Klein, the former Arkansas star, has his first points to tie the game.
That is a Joe Klein shot, and when he's uncovered, he's certainly capable of knocking that down.
Horry for 3. A little short. Rebound Rebound, Olajuwon, stolen by Kevin Johnson. And then taken right back by Smith.
Olajuwon is saying, bring it in.
Ellie. Line with a rebound. 2:55 remaining in the third. A new game at 56. Barkley, it won't fall, but Sabalas again able to worm his way between three Rockets to give Phoenix a 58-56 advantage. Big quarter for Cedric Sabalas.
10 in the quarter, 12 in the game, and most of them have been right at the basket as the Rockets try to come back with Olajuwon to calm things down.
And they double team Klein and Marley and Olajuwon, and the foul on Klein. And with that a timeout, 2:21 remaining in the third. Phoenix by 2. Riding to the line, it's been a game without a lot of banging, more of the speed, the running game, quick shooting, and so not many trips to the foul line by either team. In fact, for Houston, 0 for 3. Olajuwon, only 4 players, all 3 actually. Malone, Ewing, and Derek Coleman went to the line more than Hakeem in the first round. He makes his first attempt. Olajuwon 3rd in points, 4th in rebounds, 2nd in blocks, and 10th in field goal percentage MVP numbers. You heard that cleanly. It's tied again.
You hear that string music? That's right behind the chance of MVP. So he's focused and trying to keep his team in the ball game. The game tied at 58.
Fancy dribbling work by Kevin Johnson to get open, but Olajuwon pulls down his 10th rebound, stolen by Barkley, and he's blocked by Olajuwon. Sabalas denied. Ellie at the other end. So there's Olajuwon's strength. He leads everyone in scoring with 20 at one end and denying on the defensive end of this court. Whistle away from the ball. Ariel Ellie's first.
Good steal and read by Charles Barkley and a nice wraparound pass to Sabalas, but that is why shot blocking is such a big factor in this series, and Houston has it, and the Phoenix Suns don't have much of it, even though Oliver Miller and Mark West will get some occasionally. Maxwell picks up a foul against Barkley.
Wrestling with Barkley, his 3rd. You talk about the shot blocker, and everyone that saw the game yesterday in Seattle, Mountain Mutombo, he changed the course of so many Seattle plans with his talent underneath.
But the Suns here in the third quarter have done a much better job of opening the court and moving bodies away from the ball and then coming to the ball. So Westphal has to be pleased as Barkley tries to tie the ball game from the line.
Looking for his 15th point. Season, 21 points in the season, but in the first round against Golden State averaged over 37 and 13 rebounds, up in every category against Golden State where scoring was at a premium. 60-59, Houston with a minute and a half left in the third. Teams, 2 with a superstar. Teams with great outside shooting. Maxwell can't score, but it's Olajuwon batting home the rebound for his 22nd point.
Maxwell winces after that drive, but stays out on the floor and still wincing every time he comes down on that right foot. They double Kevin Johnson. They get a kick ball, so it'll be a new 24. The best place to trap is down in the corner, and that's where they applied the pressure to Kevin Johnson. Joe Klein out, Danny Ainge in.
Ainge for a 3. Not close. Thorpe sets up Smith.
And Maxwell is having trouble running. Now it's Olajuwon going against Charles Barkley.
Smith from side with a two. And back to a 5-point lead for Houston in the final minute of the third. Stolen by Elijah. Maxwell can't receive that forward pass from Hakeem, who has 22 points, 12 rebounds, couple of steals, couple of blocks.
Now you know why he played goalie. When he played soccer, you know, he has great hands. He has great feet. He doesn't throw very well. And in soccer, you got a bigger court than you do here. You can miss.
And a terrific team handball player as well was Elijah Wan. Barkley, good move on Elijah Wan. Can't score. And a foul. Thorpe has his second.
Barkley says, "Are you all right?" Thorpe touched his hands and said, "Yeah," but he paid the penalty that time for coming in. Barkley led with that right elbow right into the chest. This is what's known as a real good veteran offensive drive. Watch the arm drive. Pop right there. No way Thorpe is going to get into that, and he concealed it, so he gets the call.
Version of the Barkley poke shot there.
Sabalas goes out, and Oliver Miller comes in.
13 seconds left in the third. Barkley, after his 16th point, he is the leading Phoenix scorer. 64-60, Houston.
As we warm up for the fourth quarter of play, Phoenix has to feel that they can steal one here. All the pressure is on the Houston Rockets to hold their advantage, which was at 8 and now is down to 3.
64-61. Houston with 8 left, going for the final shot. Great pass to Thorpe. Partially blocked by Barkley. Elijah Wan scores. No, it's Thorpe at the buzzer. It counts. Otis Thorpe's 14th point of the game. And Houston at the end of 3 leads 66-61. We'll be back with a fourth quarter after these messages and a word from your local station.
What is it about Ford Taurus that makes it America's...
Yes, I love this game.
Starks goes baseline. Come on, Trevor!
Barkley.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love this game. Give it some love. Big time block. Got to have love.
You gotta love it.
Got to have love. Murdoch. Look out.
You gotta love it, baby.
Gary Payton. Leads has to kept his last out.
I love this game.
An alien transmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Ready for the fourth quarter. Houston off to a 10-point lead after 1, then by 8 at the half, and down to 5 as we open the fourth quarter.
We'll show you Vernon ankle right there as it flexes, and you can see how much it bends on Maxwell and why he's been in so much pain.
They've applied a heavy wrap on that Maxwell ankle. He was having trouble even motoring from one end to the other. But he's playing now. Kevin Johnson gets up the first shot of the fourth quarter, and the Houston lead is carved to 3. 11 points for KJ. Mario Elliott, 2. Maxwell had trouble getting up high to tip that one. That did affect his chance for what might have been an easy 2.
Kevin Johnson waved off a screen because he had a mismatch with Mario Ellie.
Danny Ainge hits the 3, and that ties it at 66. 3 trays for the man who has scored more points on that shot than anyone in playoff history.
As long as they have Barkley out there, they've got to go through Olajuwon, make the defense react, see if the other players, Ellie Herrera, can come through for Rudy Tomjanovich. So far, Ellie has not had an offensive afternoon.
Barkley's rebound at the other end, giving Phoenix now a chance to take the lead with 10:45 left in the fourth. Barkley with the shot, and he had to alter it because of Olajuwon. Gets it back. Rebound Maxwell. 31 three-point attempts, so they're right at the record now.
The Suns have done a good job of reacting and making it difficult for them to get the three-point shot uncovered. Herrera at point-blank range can't finish.
The record is 34, 31 total taken after three quarters today. Vernon Maxwell now on Kevin Johnson. KJ, tough. And it was remindful of those very difficult shots by Lofonso Ellis from the wing in the effort by Denver at Seattle yesterday.
Well, again, the mission for the Phoenix Suns is to come in here, win a game, be it game 1 or 2, and the pressure is always on the home team to get the first win. Rockets feeling some heat. Maxwell.
Way off the mark for Mad Max, and Herrera can't save.
Every player likes a certain side of the floor, and Kevin Johnson likes the right side and a baseline jumper, and he nails that one to get the Phoenix Suns on top.
Draft Genuine Mamba takes us back Wednesday night at Golden State. Charles Barkley outside for threes. Charles Barkley muzzles for twos. A total of 27 points in the first quarter on 11 for 11 shooting. His total of 56. Tied for the third highest in NBA playoff history as the Suns swept Golden State. In recognition of this moment, Miller Genuine Draft will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. We were kidding Charles about the being 5 away from Michael Jordan's all-time record. Said, hey, disappointed, why didn't you go for it? He said, I was too tired.
He ran out of gas, and that was one of those high-octane games, and he had to take a breather at the end of 3. Marley and the Suns have come out and scored 10 straight points.
And lead now by 5 after being down by 5 at the end of 3.
Rudy Tomjanovich told his team to be more aggressive at the offensive end. They were playing scared, not taking the shots when they were there, and a concerned look on Tomjanovich's face right now.
A rare inside miss by Olajuwon. Barkley. Ames looking for the line, wants the 3. Barkley got away with a push-up. Ames, he's not bashful. Misses that one terribly. And here's Marley. Said, hey, it's my turn. And Kevin Johnson said, no, I want to touch.
The people are going nuts here because the ball didn't touch the rim. They saw a reset on the shot clock, and it shouldn't have been that way. So the Suns get a break. Barkley trying to get inside.
Barkley and A.C. Green is fouled by Hakeem, although Smith had his hand in there as well.
Olajuwon pointing at Kenny Smith all the way, trying to take the pressure off of getting that 4th foul. But the official does not bite, and Olajuwon has 4 with 8:29 to go.
And that last three-point attempt by Ames set the all-time record. Combined, two teams firing from outside the line 35 times, and they'll go up into the 40s, one would think, before this is over.
For the Phoenix Suns, what they have been saying all season long as we see the new record that both teams have set here is in the playoffs, you have to have the ability to win away. We learned it last year. Home court didn't mean a thing to them, and they're trying to take care of some business right now and get that first road victory.
So they get it 1 out of 2 from Green and the ball back with a 6-point lead. They've scored 11 unanswered points, Phoenix.
Barkley looking for a double team.
KJ wide open. 13 in a row for Phoenix. And now they have a somewhat imposing advantage. 8 points, the biggest lead of the game for the Suns.
Maxwell have to get into the game. for the Houston Rockets. They come inside. They're going to double up on Hakeem every time now and make somebody else beat them.
Kenny Smith with 8. Good defense, Johnson against Maxwell. So now they'll have to hurry, too. Another three-pointer, Smith. And he was close. Marley rebounds. And a foul reaching in. Kenny Smith. No, it was Robert Horry. His second. Rudy Tomjanovich, where do we put in the plug here? Well, let's call time and try to figure out something. 13 straight points for Phoenix. And with 7:28 left in the fourth quarter, the finalists from the West a year ago, the Phoenix Suns, sit on an 8-point lead.
Time passes.
It just feels right.
Houston 0 for 7 in the quarter, while the Suns are red hot and have opened an 8-point lead on this Mother's Day. I don't know how Rush Limbaugh shot him, but rumors are it was from far out and from the right. But happy Mother's Day to you all. There's the quarter scoring. And the Suns taking charge, and they're hitting them outside and inside. Have the ball again.
Tomjanovich wants to see his team's defense stiffen and see them come back and play with some poise and confidence at the offensive end. Big rebound, Maxwell.
Off Barkley's miss. They've not scored in now 5 minutes of this fourth quarter. Elijah Wan changes that. He's the man. 24 to lead all scorers for Hakeem.
This is Kevin Johnson, and on his side of the floor trying to make something happen, and they've been getting the Rockets defense broken down, so people are getting wide open shots. AC Green can't finish.
Elijah Wan has a rebound, 13. Hakeem. Oh, he is something special. 74-70. They forgot about the man that got them to this party. And now, late in the game, it's back to Elijah Wan, and the lead cut to 4. KJ over Kenny Smith. He has 17.
Kenny Smith has got to read when he's naked on that side of the floor, trying to force Kevin Johnson back toward the middle. He's been able to get down baseline and get that jump shot away, and that has hurt the Houston Rockets. Thorpe trying to clear things out.
Oh, a slam miss. And they're going to call, yes, goaltending. Barkley, as they went up through the bottom of the net to block that one.
We have seen Barkley go into his cagey bag, and he was trying to steal one right here on a shot block coming through the net.
Well, they didn't let him get away with that one. Kevin Johnson with the ball is 4 for 4 shooting here in the fourth quarter. He knows he's hot. Marley for 3. Right back out to Johnson for a new 24.
Long shots, rebound long, and the Phoenix Suns have gotten several possessions after deep three-point misses. Barkley trying to break down Otis Thorpe.
Good defense by Thorpe. 7 on the clock. Barkley. Elijah Wan. Credit Thorpe with some tough defense on that Barkley attempt. Smith to Elijah Wan. Oh, my, watch out. KJ with a foul, and that's going to be flagrant. KJ immediately rushed to Hakeem to apologize.
Maxwell wants 2 on the side. Let's see if they get it. He's over there chasing the officials. But it was good penetration by Kenny Smith. Elijah Wan right at the rim. Kevin Johnson from the rear. Looked like he made a decent play for the ball, but also pulled him off the ball. And the angle for the official might have been awkward, but Kevin Johnson was definitely trying to make a play on the ball. Can't jump high enough. That's the problem.
That's the franchise that Tomjanovich is watching. easy to Hakeem. Remember early in the season against the Chicago Bulls on the final shot of the game by Steve Kerr, Kevin Johnson with a flagrant foul that saved the game and would deny the chance for Chicago to tie, and was fined heavily for it. No flagrant foul. No flagrant is the call. Just a two-shot opportunity for Olajuwon. He's had another big game. He's got 27 to match this season's average. This is the second. Marley with a rebound. Three-point game. Less than 5 to go.
Maxwell now defensively assigned to Kevin Johnson. He wants a clear side, trying to get in the middle. Maxwell on the push.
No basket. 4 fouls on Vernon Maxwell.
If you're the defender against Kevin Johnson, one, you got to have your teammates telling you from the rear what's going on. And once you find out you're in an isolation, you got to try to turn him back toward the middle and get some help. Bogdanovich, he is livid in
He's
there.
on fire. 4:50 left in the fourth. 3-point lead, Phoenix. With Steve Jones and Hannah Storm, Dick Enberg, welcome back to Houston. Here's the foul on Maxwell that raised the collar of Rudy Tomjanovich. And in Houston, this is the Rockets' red glare. And the bombs will burst later, I guess.
Yeah, they will, but Kevin Johnson was the aggressor. Vernon Maxwell has to go get Kevin Johnson. He can't allow him to come to him. Johnson got that great first step. He got into him. It was a small hand check, but a hand check nonetheless. So it is the third team foul. Vernon Maxwell has 4.
Suns have only 1 team foul. 4:46 left in the fourth. Very few fouls called throughout the game.
And, it started out like it was going to be a track meet game, and the ball goes on the floor.
Barkley saved the miscue by Johnson and called a quick timeout. A heady play by Sir Charles. Barkley can play a big game and entertain the audience all at the same time. 4:35 left. Back at the Houston Summit, this is our statistician, Ross Schneiderman, comes home every night from work. Honey, I'm back. The Turbo, he's something, huh? Jamming Turbo Man. 76-73 Suns with the lead and the ball. 4:34 left in the fourth quarter. The game that was a track meet early is really a low-scoring game, surprisingly. KJ can't hit, but Barkley at the buzzer. Lays it in.
Otisthorpe blocked that shot, and it came right to Barkley. Big basket, 5-point advantage for the Phoenix Suns.
And an illegal defense called against the Phoenix Suns. They were looking at Danny Ainge. That is a warning. No, wait, I guess that is the second against the Suns, and we'll bring a... Nope, it is the first.
And what Phoenix is trying to do is be in a position to give help to Olajuwon as Charles Barkley's going one-on-one. They want to make sure that they get people back, and that guard is the off guard, and he's just dropping back in too soon.
Barkley knew it. His second. But the Suns still have another foul, 2 fouls to give.
Down low, and Barkley likes to try to move away, but Olajuwon makes sure he has contact, and Barkley just reaches around and grabs Olajuwon inside.
And Hakeem not to be denied. Has a game-high 29. Suns by 3 with 3:45 left.
Again, Maxwell should go to meet Kevin Johnson. Don't let him come to him.
AC Green denied by Olajuwon. KJ couldn't convert. Kenny Smith at the other end. Out of control, and Ainge has it. Kevin Johnson, 1 against 3, out to Marley. Ainge sets up for 3. Right on the money with a veteran of many a playoff game. In fact, Danny Ainge has appeared in as many playoff games. Well, only 4, played in more, and he's going to move up to number 2 probably just in this series. If it goes 6 or 7. Robert Ory says,
Suns in that second quarter. His confidence is really blown up, and he's made some big shots this afternoon from deep.
Barkley over Olajuwon and Thorpe, a perfect lob pass.
Thorpe got suckered in on that play. He got caught looking away from the play, and it was a nice lob over the top. So he was thinking about Kevin Johnson. No pressure on the passer. He doesn't have a chance to react. Barkley, all in one motion, gets to 2.
Tomjanovich trying to use a little body language to deny, but it's painful again for Houston. Danny Ainge. You know, he's a big baseball fan, loves Lou Brock, and he, in that spirit with the Suns, trying to steal the opening game.
And he's certainly moving up in the all-time list of three-point field goal leaders, but he has been huge in this ball game. The Rockets come right back to Olajuwon.
Who hits again? He's over 30 now. 31 for Olajuwon. 83-80 the score. Down to 2:16 left. Crowd on its feet.
Trying to get Charles Barkley in a position where he could get a pass.
Marley short on the 3. It comes right back to him. Bingo. 86-80. Marley with a dozen.
The long rebound on the 3 has really hurt Houston in the second half. The Rockets have had about 5 possessions where they've come back and gotten the ball, made a shot to keep them on the lead.
The 41st three-point attempt, a record, and Marley, after missing 40, says, I've got the range now. 86-80 into Olajuwon, the double team. Marley keeping busy with guarding Smith on the outside, then coming in to help out on the double team. The foul on Marley, the basket is good.
Now, how good is he at knowing every single night he's going to see 1, 2, 3 people, spins off of Barkley, maintains the body control, and he gets the foul against Dan Marley, so he has a chance to cut that 6-point lead in half.
Word we're getting is that A.C. Green didn't seem to be that close to the play.
Didn't seem to be anywhere in the vicinity.
3-point play for Hakeem Olajuwon, and the game is a 3-pointer. Terrific opening game of this 7-game set. It is going to be a fascinating series. It's got a little of everything, from great stars, great outside shooting. Kevin Johnson knocked down by Thorpe. No whistle. Wide open is Smith at the other end. 86-85 Phoenix.
Kevin Johnson just lost his balance, and they went right to him.
Johnson back and hits the bottom of the well with a 2.
10 1/4 for Kevin Johnson, and a dagger. Oh! Olajuwon was wide open.
And Maxwell missed him by 40 feet.
No quarterbacks on this team.
Where's Warren Moon when you need him? You ran off to Minnesota. So, 88-85 Phoenix with 58 seconds remaining. And Maxwell, who's playing on a painful foot and a bad hand, the pain here is emotional. A mistake on a 20-second timeout.
After Kevin Johnson gets belted right there, the ball comes loose, and the Phoenix Suns see Kenny Smith soar to the other end of the floor to make it a 1-point game. And then Kevin came right back, bang, made that jump shot, and Olajuwon was wide open, and all they had to do was get it close. Maybe down about 5 feet. He may have been able to get that one.
Now, this is where in the playoffs, you get to know very quickly who are the stars in the game. And even the players themselves, watching the game yesterday up in Seattle, these guys said, you could tell at the end who wanted the shot. And they were all stunned with how well that young Denver team went at the basket on the offensive end, that they weren't shy about trying to win it. And and particularly LaFonso Ellis and Robert Pack.
It is a three-point game. Just under a minute to play, 58.1 seconds. What the Rockets need is a good defensive stand on this Phoenix Suns possession. They're going to get a couple of possessions and a chance to tie or go ahead before we get to a conclusion.
And a three-point lead with these two teams really is just a quick sigh. Oh! Batted away by Otis Thorpe, but the ball was off the rim. No whistle. And timeout, Houston.
That almost looked like a goaltend as Otis Thorpe went up and knocked that ball away on the Kevin Johnson drive. Johnson coming hard. Olajuwon comes over to challenge, so he makes him adjust the ball. Watch the hand of Otis Thorpe come in here and knock it off. And that's a real close to a goaltend. Maybe, because you're at home. You get a little home cooking.
35 seconds to go. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station. More than that, and it's likely that Olajuwon has Barkley a teasing little hug. Might get the ball on this sequence.
The Rockets have to come quickly, and they go inside to Olajuwon,
who scores easily. 36 for Olajuwon, 88, 87. With almost 5 full seconds difference between the game and shot clock. So Houston will get another chance regardless.
Now this is where you want to control Kevin Johnson. He's looking for penetration and trying to make a play. They get a foul. Houston had one to give.
But he was shooting when the whistle sounded. Now they're going to say out on the floor is the call.
But they didn't want to give the foul. Now the Phoenix Suns can run out the clock and win and steal this game.
The 24 clock is off. And now the quick foul by Kenny Smith on Danny Ainge. And Ainge, an excellent free throw shooter. The veteran who has played in almost 180 now playoff contests. Will go to the line. And it's part of the experience of this Phoenix team that makes some feel that they are now the team to beat from the West.
The Suns have the deeper bench and go deeper into the bench, and Danny Ainge is the hero off the bench for Paul Westphal so far. Makes it a two-point game.
Shot 83% from the line this year. Played now in his 178th playoff game. Has a couple of rings with the Celtics, 84 and 86. He knows the way. That makes it a three-point attempt for Houston with 13 seconds to go. 90 to 87 Phoenix. And if you're just joining us, the home Houston Rockets in the second quarter built an 18-point lead and just eroded and finally Phoenix gained the lead 8 points here late in the game, and Houston has come back and will have a three-point shot at a tie here in this last possession. And here's the timeout situation.
The Rockets have burned all of theirs, so the Phoenix Suns hold all of the trump cards in this ball game. For the Rockets, they got to come down, get a quick score, and then they got to come back and foul. The guy that's been scoring the ball for him, he's not nervous, is Olajuwon. He's got 34, and they will undoubtedly drop it into them.
You don't go for the, wait a minute, you're not going to come down and go for the three here.
No, because you could still come back and foul someone else and have one more possession if you had to go for the three, but you have to get your score very quickly. If you go for the three and you miss, then you're going to come back and foul, and you're going to be down possibly 4 or 5. So you want to try to take the first score that's available. If the three is there and the heart is big enough, yeah, you take the three.
But the likelihood is to go into Olajuwon quickly, hope he can get two, maybe even be fouled, and then you foul immediately.
Olajuwon has been the man here throughout the game, 14 in the quarter. He's being guarded by Charles Barkley. The Phoenix Suns have an option. Possession is everything for the Phoenix Suns at this point. They can foul, put them on the line, get the ball back, knowing that they're going to foul coming back the other way, or they can give Olajuwon the two, try to spread the court, volleyball the ball around, get out of here. They'll run right over us.
Forget it's the Knicks and Bulls right after this one. one as the playoff excitement building here on NBC. And, of course, 5 more games for you next weekend. All right, 13 seconds and a tick remaining.
Bullard is a 3-point specialist. He's entered the game, so he's one of the guys that can shoot a 3.
Kenny Smith. Maxwell forces the 3. Tapped out. Kevin Johnson is fouled, or is he tied up? And Paul Westphal with a fist clench strikes the open air as if to say, we got this one. 5.5 seconds to go.
Rudy was thinking tie because that's what they set up for. They went for the 3 and a deep, and now you see the situation. 5.5 now. They've got to hope that Kevin Johnson misses both.
Because then it's a 2-possession game if he makes one of these 2. Maxwell fouls out with only 3 points, and a very important part of the total story of this game is the fact that Maxwell, obviously, the hand was injured, it bothered his shooting, and then to turn his ankle in the game as well was not 100%. It affected his play.
Certainly affected by it, and they were in a scramble position. And again, that you can see where that strategy can backfire against you, because if you don't get that shot to go in, you're looking at a 3-point deficit growing.
There is the 4 points. You're talking more like a coach every day. You know that NBC commentators, you know that trend.
I'm breaking the trend. You don't have to worry. I cracked the mold if it stops with me.
All right, we'll hold you to that as Johnson now apparently. This is just frosting and makes it even tougher. Elijah Wan with a rebound, clock running, and when that one comes down, the Phoenix Suns will have an opening game win. They upset the Rockets at home in game 1, 91-87. Phoenix now has the home court advantage. In a game that featured a record-setting 41 3-point attempts, the Phoenix Suns prevail, rallying from 18 points down to beat Houston today. Here's Hannah.
Charles, you guys were not shooting well in the first half. Were you confident that your defense could get you back in the game?
Well, you know, we shot 32%, I think, the first half, but we were only down by 7. So Coach was very upbeat at halftime. I mean, one of our problems is not scoring, and then our shots started to fall in the second half, and that was the key. When they had the 18-point lead, they had a chance to put us away, but we were only shooting 30%.
KJ, you were really struggling in the first half. You only took 1 shot in the third, and then you were hot down the stretch. Was that by design in the third?
My teammates really carried me the first 3 quarters. I was kind of saving it the second half because we were holding close. I thought I had a little bit in my tank. We played 4 quarters. I'm just excited we pulled it out on the road.
They were really missing some easy shots down the stretch. Was it your defense? Were they fatigued? What was going on?
Good defense, but I think they got a little bit tired. You know, they had a tough game up in Portland. They didn't get back to late Friday night. Only had 1 day to rest. The game was in the afternoon. So we were very fortunate that they were tired.
Ideally, this is what you guys want to do. Come in and steal one on their home court. What does this mean for the series?
Look at it like that. We are winning it outright. We don't plan on stealing. We feel like we got the best team and we want to win. It ain't nothing to do with stealing.
All right, guys, congratulations on the win.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Barkley with 21, KJ with 19. Hakeem led Houston with 36. Final, Phoenix 91, Houston 87. Stay tuned, NBC Sports, Game 3. Our NBA tripleheader. Defending NBA champion Chicago Bulls clash with the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. For Steve Jones and Hannah Storm, I'm Dick Enberg. This has been a presentation of the NBA playoffs on NBC.
Put yourself in the place of the New York Knicks and imagine the frustration the postseason has brought, knowing in the back of your mind that no matter how good you thought you were, and no matter how badly you wanted to prove it, you were never quite good enough to beat the Chicago Bulls. That Michael Jordan would somehow find a way to prove they were better. But Jordan is gone. Will this series finally belong to Patrick Ewing and company? With the league's #1 defense and a trio of all-stars, can the Knicks back up their bravado? Many predicted the Bulls wouldn't even be here, but few can measure the heart of a champion. A beat which is filled with a passion for a 4th straight title. A pulse personified by Scottie Pippen. It's a new season, an opportunity to erase bad memories or recapture glorious moments past.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1994 NBA playoffs. Today, it's the Chicago Bulls versus the New York Knicks.
It is a 59-degree, partly cloudy day in the New York City area. And inside, within Madison Square Garden, it is heating up for Game 1 between the Chicago Bulls and the New York Knicks. A long-awaited series in two of the major media centers, already bringing forth much attention to what may develop into a very testy series. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Matt Gukas. And Matt, in past years, Chicago felt that they had to get by Detroit in order to win a title. I know the Knicks feel the same way now about Chicago. And the Chicago Bulls are in the way of the New York Knicks, but the Knicks feel they are on the right track in that they have taken 3 out of 4 over the Bulls during the course of the regular season. And the physical Knicks certainly affected the Bulls. In those 4 games in the regular season, the Bulls held to 80 points per game. Turnovers, as you can see, were up. Field goal percentage dramatically down. And Bulls coach Phil Jackson is constantly reminding his team about the Knicks' physical style of play.
Well, you know, I basically made some clips of our last New York Knicks Bulls game. You know, Oakley banging Cartwright. Situation where Pippen gets pushed out of bounds and the foul call goes against, or the out of bounds call goes against us. Pippen trying to tap, you know, Oakley on the floor. We get a foul call. The physical nature of the game, which we have to relate to, and you have to be poised about it. There's going to be confrontation at every position. And you just have to be able to take that kind of confrontation and play through it.
Well, Phil Jackson never lets an opportunity to go by to remind anybody and everybody that the New York Knicks physically beat up on his Chicago Bulls.
Well, it is a marquee matchup. Patrick Ewing and his New York Knicks going up against Scottie Pippen and a Chicago Bulls. Game 1 of the best of 7 in a moment.
Time passes, things improve. In the new millennia, you'll find a luxury sedan with a suspension more sophisticated than BMW's. Body panels that fit 20% tighter than the new Mercedes C-Class and even straighter than a Lexus.
Welcome back to Madison Square Garden in New York. And we will check out the starting lineups first for the Chicago Bulls. One-time New York Knicks Pete Myers in the backcourt, along with B.J. Armstrong. And up front, another former Knick, Bill Cartwright, did not play much of the series against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen on the front line. And for the Knicks, the starting lineup, Gilbert Davis and Darren Harper. In the backcourt, we'll see quite a bit, though, of John Starks. Patrick Ewing at center, coming off a very solid series against New Jersey. Former Bull Charles Oakley on the front line, along with Anthony Bonner. So we're getting set for game number 1 of this best of 7 series. A series that continues Wednesday night here at Madison Square Garden. That will be game 2. They'll face each other in game 3 Friday in Chicago, and then game 4 next Sunday in Chicago. The officials, Ed T. Rush, Jack Madden, and Ed Middleton. Pat Riley, 120 career victories in the playoffs. That is number 1 all time. And Phil Jackson, a man who has guided the Chicago Bulls to the NBA title the last 3 years, and that's a remarkable stat, 17-0 in playoff series when he has not gone up against Chuck Daly, who took the Pistons to 2 championships. As always, we're joined on the sideline by the clever and knowledgeable Ahmad Rashad. Let's go to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Marv. I had an interesting conversation with Horace Grant this morning. He said that in the past, in the playoffs, whenever they were in a deficit, a tough situation, they always could look over and find number 23, Michael Jordan. He said Michael Jordan is not here, so in effect, this is the first real test for this team to find out just what kind of team they are without Michael Jordan. Marv?
All right, Ahmad, the Knicks and Bulls meeting in the playoffs for the 4th straight year, and the 5th time the last 6 years the Bulls have won all 5 of their all-time playoff series against the Knicks. It will be Bill Cartwright and Patrick Ewing going on the opening tip. And over the years, Cartwright has played Ewing exceptionally well. Keeps him off the blocks and does a good job physically against Ewing.
And he gets away more from the referees than some of his backup centers will, like Luke Longley, Bill Wennington, and Scott Williams. The officials know how Cartwright plays. They respect that. It's physical, generally pretty clean as long as Bill keeps his elbows down.
Cartwright did not see much action in the series against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Knicks control the opening tip. Derek Harper handling against B.J. Armstrong. Now Ewing for Davis. Davis off the drive. Gilbert Davis has killed the Bulls during the regular season. Gilbert Davis, 21 of 31 from the field, just under 68% shooting. Cartwright getting position, played by Oakley. So Bill Cartwright, who was acquired in the deal for Charles Oakley, able to hit on his first field goal attempt.
Well, in the history of the Chicago Bulls, as long as Cartwright has been there, they generally go to him early, see if they can get a couple of hoops, because they never know how long he's going to be able to play.
Ewing facing the double team and stripped by Armstrong. B.J. Armstrong for Horace Grant. Rebounded by Patrick Ewing.
Well, the Bulls are going to look to do that as much as possible. Run from turnovers, run from missed shots. They have to get some baskets from their defense.
And from time to time, we will see the Bulls go to the pressure defense. They only showed it in flashes during the regular season, and it has bothered the Knicks in the past. Ewing had to force it and hit. The shot clock down to 2. Ewing has given the Knicks a 4-2 lead.
Well, the Bulls will just have to accept that. However, the primary responsibilities defensively, they want to stop Ewing, they want to double team him, and they want to shut down the shooting guards of the New York Knicks.
Pippen played by Bonner here at the start. He will get different looks. Cartwright looking very offensive-minded. Cartwright did not have any points at all in the series against the Cavaliers. 2 minutes have gone by, and the Knicks have a 4-2 lead. Ewing got the step. Try to unload it, and the call against the Knicks. Offensive foul. So the foul on Ewing for a charge.
Patrick being pressured out on the floor by Cartwright. He knows he can beat him off the dribble. Excellent job defensively by Scottie Pippen, stepping up to the dotted line and taking that charge.
Myers with the step. Myers going all the way. In rush with the call down low, calling the offensive foul. Myers pushed out on Davis.
Here, Pete Myers getting a half a step on Davis, but just threw that right elbow out ever so slightly. Oddly enough, the slot official was going to call a foul the other way, so a good break for the New York Knicks.
And a holding foul on Pippen. So the ball's going to the trap at midcourt.